Good morning and welcome to day one of our test review. We're going to split this into 2 days because of the length of the test review. I am going to do certain problems on your test review so that you have an example of each type, starting with the first few sections. And then I'll leave the others for you to do and practice on so you're ready for the test. So our goal today is to get through, so if you have the review in front of you, we're going to do section 1, section 2, section 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to do the first 5 sections, but only 1 or 2 questions in each section. All right, so starting with number 1 on the first page, on this upcoming test, you're going to have a section that says for you to write the equation of the line, and they're going to give you the slope and y-intercept. So the equation that we're looking for is going to be in slope-intercept form. So let me remind you what that means. Slope-intercept form is going to be the format y equal mx plus b. Go ahead and write that in for your notes, where m, the number next to x, is going to be our slope, and b, the number without the x, is going to be our y-intercept. And so if you're given the slope and the y-intercept, the answer to this should be relatively easy. You start with y equals, and then you put your slope, -3, and make sure that next to the slope you put your x, because slope is always multiplied by the x, and then we put our y-intercept. Now since it's +7, we would put +7. And that's the answer. This is the equation that we would be looking for. Okay, where that's the slope, and this is the y-intercept. All right. And so there is one for you to practice on. Number 2 is a very similar question, and I will leave that one for you. Okay, moving right along, let's look at the next section. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all writing equations based upon the graph that you see. So I'm going to do number 3 with you, and I'm going to leave 4, 5, and 6 for you to do and practice on your own. So writing an equation, we're going to use the same format that we just used in number 1 to write an equation, and that is going to be, again, y equal mx plus b. So from a graph, if you're working on number 3, the first thing that you need to do is figure out what is m and what is b. So reminder that m is going to be rise over run. M is our slope. So, and I'm going to write the note down here. I need a rise and a run. Now, if you have been in my class, you know that we've been practicing always starting at the left point to keep my run positive. So if I start at this left point, I'm trying to travel to the right point. So my rise is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is my rise, and that's positive since I'm traveling up. And my run, counting those squares, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, you want to look and see if you can divide this number or if you can reduce the number. So if you try this in your calculator, you will get a decimal of 0.6. That's not what we want, but you can reduce it. So the number that you can divide both 6 and 10 by would be 2. So if I divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2, I get 3 over 5, and that's my m. Now, for b, remember, that's the y-intercept. And the y-intercept, remember, is where our graph crosses the y-axis. The y-axis is the one running up and down. So we want to know where this slanted line crosses this axis. So it crosses right here. And this is, if this is 0, going down 1 means our y-intercept is -1. Now, you have everything you need. All you have to do to answer the question now is for you to write it in an equation. So the equation would be y equals 3 over 5x minus 1. And this would be the final answer that you would want. Okay, now, just so you know, number 4 and number 6 do not have any points identified. You would have to identify them. What I would do is start by finding the y-intercept. So on number 4, look at your y line. Oh, there it is. It's right here. Okay, that can be 1 point. And then use your pencil to follow that line down until you hit another corner. And here's another corner. And so you can use those 2 points to find your rise and your run. And you can also use that first point to find your y-intercept and help you out. Okay, your job is to practice 4, 5, and 6 on your own. Turn the page, though, so that we have an example of the next few sections. So the next section starts with number 7. Let's make sure I'm on screen here. And 7, 8, and 9 all say find the slope. And so, but 7 and 8 are different. So we're going to do 7 and 8, and then 9 will be for you to do. So 7, if it tells you to find the slope and you are given an equation, again with this y equal mx plus b, it's already in that format. So y equal mx plus b, if you put that right underneath that, all right, and you are asked to find the slope. Slope is your m, and it even says m equals. Our slope in this case, the number next to x, is 4. Now, if it hadn't said y equals, we would have to change it and cancel things out until it does. Then we find the number next to the x. Okay? The next question, number 8, you also need to find m, or the slope. Well, this one's not quite so simple. You have 2 ordered pairs. You have to use the formula. And the formula, when you have ordered pairs for m, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, let's not forget what you have to do. You have to label your ordered pairs. So this would be x1, y1, x2, y2. Because this is our first ordered pair that gets the 1s. This is our second one that gets the 2s. Now put in the numbers where they go. y2 is negative 20. Minus, always minus for these, y1 is negative 8. And it's going to look funny. You're going to either use your knowledge of integers or a calculator here and get the correct answer. Okay, at bottom, x2 would be negative 12 minus x1, negative 3. Okay, if you type this in correctly or do this correctly, negative 20 minus negative 8 is going to give you negative 12. And negative 12 minus negative 3 is going to give you negative 9. And then if you divide that, you're going to get a decimal. That's not what we want, but we do want to simplify that. So negative and a negative, first of all, will cancel, making it positive. And you can divide the top and the bottom by 3. And I'm leaking into this part, so I'm going to do it down here. Negative 12 over negative 9. If we divide these by 3 each, we're going to get, and remember, negative and negative cancel out. We're going to get positive 4 over positive 3 as our answer for our m. Okay, wonderful. That's going to be our slope there. I'm going to leave number 9 for you to practice with. Number 10. It's, again, just finding the slope for this part. We'll get to the equation in a second. So number 10, I was going to do out with you, but I think I will wait. But what I will remind you on number 10 is the formula and what the labels look like. So on number 10, you're going to use the same exact formula that you used on 8. So don't forget that you're going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The labels are what are different here. So the labels here are going vertically. So this would be x1, this is x2, first x, second x. This is y1 and y2. So put those numbers into that formula, reduce it or divide it, and get your answer here. So I'm going to leave 10, 11, and 12 for you to practice on. The more difficult one, which we just got done learning about, is number 13. So I will work that one through with you. And this will serve as an example for number 10 as well. Okay, to write an equation, you need both m and b. All right, so we're going to start with finding m, and I'm going to do that to the side here. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, don't forget, this is x1, this is x2, this is y1, here is y2. So if you put them in the correct order, you get 14 minus 12 over negative 5 minus negative 6. All right, 14 minus 12 gives you 2. And negative 5 minus negative 6 is going to end up giving you 1. Now, this divides, so your m, your slope in this case, is 2. We're going to circle that because we are going to use that in our final answer. 2 is not our final answer because we also need, in this case, our b value or our y-intercept. So the b value, let's not forget, on a table, the b value is with the y value when x equals 0. Okay, so you look in your x values and try to find a 0. Now, in this case, there is no 0 available. So we have to make our table keep going until we get to 0. So, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, and then 0 would be next. So I just have to continue the pattern here. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. The next number would be 22. It's going by twos. The next number would be 24. So this is my b value. So 0, where x is 0, y is 24. So b equal 24 in this case. Circle that. Now your final answer for the equation is y equals your slope, 2, x plus your y-intercept, 24. This is the final answer here. Okay, so I am going to leave number 14 for you to try on your own. And we're almost done with our first half of this test review. 15 and 16 are the same thing on the next side. Again, find m, find b, and write the equation. 17 and 18, oh yeah, that is going to be the end. So we will do 17 through the rest of the packet on the next video so that this doesn't get too long. So for Thursday, today's assignment, if you are in my class, we are going to complete numbers 1 through 16 in the packet. And then on Monday, when tomorrow will be Alex for Friday's assignment, and Monday then we will do the second half of this packet. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great day.